The night was unusually quiet when she noticed him sitting near the bus stop, shoulders hunched, hands tucked inside thin sleeves that did little to protect him from the cold. She would have walked past like everyone else, eyes fixed forward, pretending not to see. She had done that many times before. But something about the way he gently rocked back and forth, as if counting time instead of minutes, made her slow down. She stopped a few steps away and asked if he was okay. He looked up, startled, then nodded. His smile was tired, but polite, the kind people wear when they don't want pity. He told her his name was Daniel. He had missed the last bus. His phone battery was dead. He was waiting, he said, though he wasn't sure for what. The air grew heavier as silence filled the gap between them. She hesitated, then offered him a hot coffee from the cafe across the street. He tried to refuse, but his hands were shaking. They sat together on a bench, steam rising between them. Daniel spoke carefully, as if choosing the safest version of his story. He had once worked in an office, worn press shirts, planned holidays. Then came the layoffs, the savings running out, the days getting harder. His wife had passed away 2 years earlier, leaving him with a young daughter and a promise he was struggling to keep. Tonight, he had spent his last cash on food for her. He would figure out tomorrow later. She listened, surprised by how easily he trusted her. She didn't interrupt, didn't offer solutions. For the first time in a long while, she wasn't rushing. When the cafe closed, she stood up, unsure of what came next. The sensible choice was to go home. Instead, she heard herself say he could stay on her couch for the night. Just one night, she added quickly, as if to convince herself more than him. At her apartment, Daniel moved like a guest afraid of breaking something. He thanked her too many times. She handed him a blanket and pointed to the bathroom. While he showered, she stared at the ceiling, wondering why she had done this. It didn't feel reckless. It felt necessary. In the morning, she packed breakfast while he slept. When he woke, he looked almost embarrassed by the normalcy of it all. They ate quietly. Before leaving, he wrote his number on a scrap of paper, just in case, he said. Days passed. Work swallowed her routine again, but she found herself thinking about Daniel at odd moments. She texted once to check in. He replied with gratitude and restraint, saying he had an interview lined up. Another message came later, sharing that he got a temporary job. She smiled at her phone without realizing it. Weeks later, her company announced a major leadership change. A new CEO would be introduced at the quarterly meeting. She took her seat early, distracted, unaware of the quiet buzz filling the room. When the doors opened, her breath caught. Daniel walked in, dressed sharply, confident yet familiar. For a second, she wondered if she was imagining it. Then their eyes met, and recognition flashed between them. He spoke calmly at the podium, sharing his vision, his belief in resilience, in people being more than their worst moments. He didn't share his past in detail, only hinted at it. When the applause faded, he found her afterward. She was the one who couldn't speak. He smiled, softer now, and explained. He hadn't lied. He had been a single father. He had lost everything once. The job he mentioned before was real, but the night they met, he had chosen to walk alone, to think, to remember what it felt like to be human again, without titles. I needed to know who I was without my position, he said. You reminded me. They talked longer this time, honestly. He thanked her not for the couch or the coffee, but for seeing him when he had nothing to offer. She admitted she hadn't realized how numb she had become until that night. Their lives didn't suddenly merge into something dramatic. They continued as two people changed by a moment neither had planned. Months later, she watched Daniel speak at a charity event for struggling families. His daughter stood proudly beside him, holding his hand. When he saw her in the crowd, he smiled the same tired, hopeful smile she had first seen at the bus stop. She smiled back, knowing some encounters are not meant to be forgotten, only carried forward as proof that kindness given freely always finds its way back. Please like, share, and subscribe. Lovera Sky. We share stories the world need to feel again.